Yes, before we start this first episode of Epic Island Battle Tournament, I got two big shout-outs to give for the battle animations that you will witness, the three animations. The first and the last animation was animated by Blue Goku SSG SS4, so shout out to Blue Goku SSG SS4. And the second round was animated by Speedy the Cyborg Ninja. So shout out to Speedy the Cyborg Ninja for the second animation you'll witness. Shout out to both of these badass YouTubers. Go check them out and subscribe. Let's get down to it.
Tell the truth until you learn to lie. Can't breathe until you choke. You gotta laugh when you're the joke. There's nothing like a funeral to make you feel alive. Just don't.
Hello and welcome to the new and improved Epic Island Battle Tournament. Welcome to the first episode of Epic Island Battle Tournament. I will start off by going over the rules, because there are some rules for Epic Island Battle Tournament, such as the outcomes of each fight are not 100% fact. In fact, it's only my best opinion. It's only the opinion and conclusion that me and sometimes other people, such as researchers, help me come to the conclusion on. I just give you the results that I feel would happen 9 times out of 10. There is no prep time, and I will be using non-canon material as long as it does not fully contradict with the main canon. Also, this first episode, technically the first round of the tournament, is going to be a best 2 out of 3 rounds. Yes, 2 out of 3 rounds for the first round of Epic Island Battle Tournament. Characters can be knocked out, TKO, or killed, and be defeated in those 3 ways. So with all that being said, without further ado, let's get down to business and introduce today's fighters, whoever you might be at this moment in time. As you can see, the 2 that will be battling on the Epic Island for the first episode is gonna be the 3-eyed badass strategic swordsman from Yu Yu Hakusho, HIEI, versus the 3-eyed badass strategic martial artist from Dragon Ball, the original, TIEN, or his original name in the Japanese, Ten Shinhan. Starting with TIEN, you see TIEN in the beginning was actually found by the Crane Hermit, who is actually old friends with Master Roshi, the Turtle Hermit, and then they became arch rivals / enemies. But back on TIEN, you see TIEN was trained by the Crane Hermit in the Crane style martial arts, along with his little buddy Chaozu. You see TIEN was thought of as a prodigy by the Crane Hermit, actually thought of as a legit prodigy back in the day, folks. Was taught multiple techniques by the Crane Hermit, such as the Dodonpa Ray, along with the Solar Flare. And there are some techniques he obviously taught himself, such as the Tri-Beam, the Volleyball Fist technique. You see, back on the Crane Hermit for a moment, the Crane Hermit himself had superhuman-like strength along with speed. He actually taught TIEN how to achieve and obtain this superhuman-like strength and speed. TIEN is actually fast enough in Dragon Ball to create after images, hypersonic speed at the very least. And yes, when TIEN actually first encountered Kid Goku and his buddies, TIEN was with his little buddy Chaozu, and they was actually bad guys. Tien himself was a little more ruthless, obviously, than Chaozu. Chaozu, just kind of a follower to Tien, but Tien himself was a ruthless badass. That's for sure. Heck, he shows this in the first tournament he enters when he actually dominates Nam, a fighter actually, who's actually very skilled in his own right, being Nam. Oh, but he's a lot more ruthless than that, folks. As shown when he actually fought Yamcha, okay? Actually fought Yamcha, demonstrated incredible durability, stamina, strength, showing he can withstand the Wolf Fang Fist, able to somehow use a technique to harden his body. Oh, and at first, folks, it actually looked like Yamcha was actually putting up a good fight, and he might have been, but at the end of the day, Tien proved to be out of Yamcha's league at that point, and to add insult to injury, he actually broke Yamcha's leg after winning that tournament round. And after winning that tournament round, winning against Yamcha, he actually would go on to fight Master Roshi in the next rounds. Master Roshi, being a moonbuster and being able to create after images himself, actually in the beginning he was able to actually speed blitz Tien until Tien made a statement and actually caught on to his illusion. Tien actually said 3 eyes are better than 2, meaning his eyes can actually detect the movements of characters that can actually create after images and move at hypersonic speeds, along with being able to actually take hits from Roshi, who is a moonbuster. Tien actually defeated Roshi technically in that match, making him go to the next rounds yet again. Then he fought Kid Goku, and technically, folks, beat Kid Goku. Tien actually won a World Martial Arts Championship back in Dragon Ball. Oh, it was after a long, hard fight, and Goku at the time was slightly above Roshi, meaning Goku himself at the time was a moonbuster, moon level. Now, it is arguable, Tien, whether or not he can actually destroy a moon. However, he can fight against people who can destroy a moon. So he is relative to their level, and he can fight against them and take hits from said characters. But in this fight with Kid Goku, he actually demonstrated, just by looking at and witnessing the Kamehameha once, he's actually able to mimic other people's ki blasts and ki techniques just by seeing them one time, because he performed the Kamehameha, aka the Turtle Destruction Wave, along with showing us his other technique, the 4-arm techniques, where he grows an extra 2 arms out of his back. Yeah, folks, he can actually do that. But you see, folks, after winning this tournament, a little bit down the road, Tien basically did change his ways. He became a good guy. Heck, he even trained under Master Roshi himself. Yeah, Roshi actually trained Tien for a little while, for a short period of time, not very long. Because you see, Tien actually went to train with Korin the cat, who has the sensu beans, and Korin basically got their speed, meaning him, Krillin, and Yamcha, amplified up even more, gave him some sensu beans, and they went out and trained on their own, Tien and Chaozu. Then they would meet up yet again with 18-year-old Goku down the road at the last arc of Dragon Ball, the original, and Tien would battle 18-year-old Goku. Now, he did actually lose to 18-year-old Goku. However, he put up a dang good fight, and he wasn't that far off from 18-year-old Goku as far as power and speed. He wasn't too far off, but he did lose nonetheless. Now, Tien also shows that he can do the Mafuba, aka the evil containment wave that Master Roshi actually taught him. And as shown, when Tien actually performed it, it didn't actually kill Tien. He actually performed it on one of King Piccolo's lower class demons, who he actually did put up a fight against. However, he may have technically lost that fight, but he does show us that he can use the evil containment wave without the negative effects of it killing him afterwards. And that's where we'll cut off for TIEN because we're only using TIEN from original Dragon Ball. So altogether, folks, TIEN, or Ten Shinhan, was trained by the Crane Hermit originally. He was a bad guy, a ruthless bad guy. Actually broke Yamcha's leg in the first encounter and tournament they were in. Went on to defeat Master Roshi, technically, defeat Kid Goku, technically, and actually won the World Martial Arts Tournament. He has multiple techniques, such as the Solar Flare, the Dadanfray, the Tri-Beam, the Forearm Technique, and he can even perform the Kamehameha. He's defeated Moon-level fighters, technically, such as Master Roshi and Kid Goku. Can move fast enough to create after images, which is easily hypersonic speeds. Oh, and by the way, he actually defeated Cyborg Mercenary Tao. Cyborg Mercenary Tao, when Mercenary Tao actually returned as a cyborg in the last arc of Dragon Ball, and TIEN actually dominated him. And TIEN was trained by Korn the Cat and Master Roshi at one point. So all that being said, I say we move on down the line to HIEI himself. Oh yes, HIEI, boy of fire, born among the Ice Maidens. You see, HIEI was prophesied to be born among a clan of Ice Maidens, a clan of essentially all-female demons. Because see, there was a prophecy that one of the Ice Maidens would go and mate with a male demon, and a boy of fire would be born among them, and supposedly it would cause ruins and chaos, so they did the most reasonable thing ever and tossed him off a cliff. But you see, HIEI would survive this fall from the cliff thanks to his mother's love. Because no matter what, even if the rest of your family hates you, your mother will always love you. So yes, HIEI survived. He would move on down the line a little bit and obtain the Jagan Eye in search of his clan in the near future, But once he found out his entire clan had been slaughtered, he was trying to search for his sister, who he had heard had survived. So he started searching for his sister with his Jagan Eye. Then he would eventually meet up with Yusuke Urameshi, and Kuwabara, and Kurama. Speaking of the Continent Buster and Continent level Yusuke, HIEI can actually take massive hits from this Continent level opponent and friend of his, as shown when they actually had a little aggressive sparring match of their own, and actually shows that Yusuke can keep up with HIEI in combat, and HIEI can take hits from Yusuke the powerhouse himself. Now we all know HIEI to be a strategic swordsman in battle. As a matter of fact, he's more or less compared to the calculating and strategic Kurama as far as his battle tactics go. Now he's not quite on Kurama's IQ level, but he is comparable to his strategic mind and his battle tactics. He can move fast enough to create after images. Heck, he can casually move and create after images. That's how fast this badass actually is. A couple of his techniques involved hypnosis, a form of hypnosis. And he can basically summon the Dragon of the Darkness Flame for extra potency, which he eventually became one with, Dragon of the Darkness Flame. And if you don't think any of that's impressive, folks, he's actually managed to take out an S-rank demon before, nonetheless. And if one S-rank demon isn't enough for you folks, well heck, he's actually took out 100 if not hundreds of B and A-rank demons without even being scathed afterwards. Damn, that's some impressive stamina. HIEI even has a demon form, known as the Giganshi form, which amplifies his attack potency and speed even more, folks, and it puts all kinds of different eyes all over his body. And he obtains this form through having the Jagan Eye, obviously. And just like HIEI's opponent TIEN, HIEI also technically started off being a bad guy, folks. Pretty ruthless. Actually, him and Kurama both started off technically being bad guys. And being part Ice Demon, HIEI is not affected by Ice-style techniques whatsoever, as shown in the episode where he actually went up against an A-rank demon who use ice manipulation powers and tactics and utterly embarrassed Kurobara. And here comes HIEI saying, just because your ice was going to kill my wounded friend does not mean it's going to do the same to me. And then HIEI one-shotted this guy with his blade and showcased his incredible speed yet again in this same episode. And at the end of Yu Yu Hakusho, it's safe to say that HIEI himself is on the level of an S-rank demon, if not right above. Which makes sense because it actually states an S-rank demon can easily wipe out 500 A-rank demons, which actually explains why HIEI was able to demolish hundreds of B and A-rank demons without even being scathed. So altogether, folks, HIEI is the three-eyed strategic swordsman from Yu Yu Hakusho. He started off being a bad guy. He's part ice demon, fast enough to create after images, easily hypersonic speed, merged with the dragon of the darkness flame eventually. Can hold his own with Yusuke, the continent level fighter and buster. Can use hypnosis tactics, has his demon form, and has displayed some incredible stamina. With all that being said, and all that at HIEI's disposal, does he have what it takes to take on TIEN in this 2 out of 3 tournament round? Well, folks, let's find out.
I plan to take my revenge on you, so consider this fair warning.
Oh, you want to ignore me, huh?
HIEI, we must face this current business before you start your own.
Pressure like this. Dragon! The darkness!
Wow, what a battle that was. What an epic island battle. And it looks like HIEI won the best 2 out of 3 rounds. But before I tell you why, I got 3 more big shoutouts to give to the battle animators for the 3 animations you witnessed. For the first animation, the shout out goes to this badass. So shout out to Blue Goku SSG SS4 for the first and the last animation you witnessed. Shout out to SSG SS4 Blue Goku for those 2 animations. And shout out to Speedy the Cyborg Ninja for the second animation you witnessed, for that incredible animation. Shout out to Speedy the Cyborg Ninja. So now, reasons why HIEI won. And to be honest, folks, this was very close. In fact, probably the closest battle you're ever going to witness on Epic Island Battle. For starters, their speed. Both can move fast enough to create after images. Easily clocks in around hypersonic speeds easily. Next, let's go to their attack potency. We'll have to do a little scaling here. But as we know with TIEN, he was able to fight against Roshi, who had a power level of 180 in his, we can call it semi-max power Roshi. He was not max power, and TIEN was able to basically match a semi-max power Roshi, who is large mountain level as far as attack potency. Because if you look closer at the episode, folks, Master Roshi is not max power. There was never actually a confirmed power level for his max power form, All we do know is he uses it in dire situations because it lacks stamina, and he has a moon level feat within his max power form. However, TIEN did not fight max power Roshi, therefore he actually did not fight a moon level Roshi. More or less a large mountain level Roshi, if we want to be a little more technical. And then he fought Kid Goku, who was a little above Roshi, but even then, Kid Goku at that point is not all around moon level. His max power Kamehameha would more than likely, yes, destroy the moon, but his attack potency is not moon level, if that makes sense to you. And if we move on down the line a little bit, let's skip down to when he actually fought 18-year-old Goku, which actually is moon level 18-year-old Goku. While at first, yes, TIEN looked like he was doing pretty good, but ultimately it was the same thing with Yamcha and TIEN. You see, at first Yamcha looked like he was doing pretty good against TIEN, and at the end of the day, TIEN proved to be out of Yamcha's league. Same with 18-year-old Goku, who's faster than lightning and moon level as far as attack potency. TIEN at that point is more or less scalable to continent level. He's at least continent level by the last arc of Dragon Ball the original. So we go over to HIEI's attack potency. HIEI right off the bat has taken hits from Yusuke, who is a continent level and a continent buster. And at the end of Yu Yu Hakusho, it's easily safe to say HIEI himself is continent level as far as his attack potency. He himself cannot blow up a continent, but he has the attack potency to fight against people who can, and who are on that level. So in terms of speed and attack potency, they're very, very even in those categories. Durability, basically the same. And they have multiple techniques they can use against each other. We might be thinking, what about HIEI's hypnosis and all that? Because technically it's classified as hypnosis. Well, you see, TIEN in Dragon Ball actually stated his third eye can see past illusions, and if we know, hypnosis does kind of fall in the category of illusions, and he actually stated that himself. And if we all know this, Master Roshi is known for using hypnosis tactics, so there are Dragon Ball characters that use hypnosis tactics. So it's safe to say TIEN might not be that affected by HIEI's hypnosis tactics. So while they are even in attack potency, durability, speed, techniques, they have a wide range of techniques at their disposal. The stamina difference is actually a pretty big difference though. While TIEN has a lot of stamina, he even survived the Mafu Ba, which actually could potentially seal HIEI if HIEI was a dumb demon on Yamcha's level of stupidity or something like along those lines, if you get what I'm saying. HIEI is not dumb. He's not going to fall for something like that, a mediocre trick like the evil containment wave, the Mafu Ba. But back on the Mafu Ba, we all know Master Roshi and his master before him died using it. TIEN survived the negative effects, meaning, yeah, it is pretty durable. He can endure a lot. However, it still took a lot of his life energy out of him nonetheless. And he does have stamina, yes. However, HIEI was unscathed after demolishing hundreds of B-class and A-class demons without even being scathed afterwards. If you ask me, that's more impressive stamina than barely surviving the Mafu Ba. And yes, TIEN might have a versatility advantage as he can fly. However, HIEI has his own little advantage with an X factor, meaning his sword. He's a master swordsman, okay? That could actually come in handy. And yes, TIEN's skin is more or less tougher than stainless steel, as he's comparable to Kid Goku's skin and Krillin's, who can take bullets and knives and metallic objects. However, when you have someone like HIEI, who is very strategic with his sword and knows how to use it with the force of a continent level strength behind his sword swings, he could actually cut through TIEN eventually. And that sword actually does give him an extra X factor over TIEN, where TIEN, other than using a couple ki blasts back in the day, is more of a melee fighter, a strategic martial artist. While HIEI, yes, he actually does know martial arts, but he has a weapon he can use as well that he is a master with. So while they are even in basically every single category, it does actually edge out in HIEI's favor, as he does have an X factor, meaning his swordsmanship, his sword, could actually be the X factor on top of the stamina advantage. HIEI has a lot of stamina to be able to do what he did. While TIEN's stamina is great, but he did barely survive the negative effects of the Mafuba, while HIEI has shown more impressive stamina on top of being on TIEN's level through scaling, yes, easily on TIEN's level. So it comes down to a couple things, as I mentioned. So altogether, folks, the winner is HIEI due to having two advantages over TIEN. The stamina and the X factor being his sword and strategic mind with his sword. So the winner of this Epic Island Battle Tournament round is HIEI from Yu Yu Hakusho. Hope you enjoyed it for what it was. Stay tuned later. I'll be releasing the trailer to the next fight. As always, have a great one. Peace.